What's up, guys? It's Amon, and today I want to talk about what I've noticed in the past 2 years since going raw vegan. So some of you guys know, some of you guys don't know, but I have been almost exclusively raw vegan for 2 years straight. I've been raw vegan at times before this, but never for this long. This is the longest time. And I want to share a couple of the things that I learned to stay raw vegan if you're raw vegan, and a couple of the things that benefits that I've noticed um, and cons if I've noticed any of those. So first, let's get into benefits. So number one, I went raw vegan because I was going through a very stressful time, and I felt that um, I wanted to be at my very best during that time. I wanted to be at my sharpest during that time. And I felt that being raw was the way to do that. Having living foods, getting that living water, getting that electricity inside my system, I felt that that was the best way to, to to approach every day as my best self when I really needed to. And so that was kind of the kicker. But even before that, I initially went raw because I was drawn to it. I was drawn to raw veganism because I am not a thinker, but I am I'm an aware person, right? So I'm a it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. I'm a contemplative person. So, you know, I do a good amount of meditation. I don't do as much as I used to, but I've been meditating for 14 years. I've been studying um, the mind, consciousness, the nature of reality, the subconscious mind, meditation, yoga, all these kind of things I've been studying for 14 years. So in that time, my consciousness, I've been practicing as well. I've been studying, I've been practicing. So in that time, my consciousness has evolved, which basically is just a fancy way of saying my awareness has grown. I've become aware of more. So as your awareness grows, more things make sense to you. And when it comes to food, it really just became very clear to me. The food we eat and the vibrational levels of the different vibrational levels of the food we eat. And it became very clear to me that being a raw vegan, just generally speaking, right, there are exceptions, but being a raw vegan, just generally speaking, was the way to eat the highest form of energy, to eat the most high vibrating food, to eat the food that had the most energy in it. So that was my initial understanding. It was just like an inherent understanding. No one had to, twist my arm. No one had to, uh, you know, try to convince me to go raw. I didn't need any convincing. I knew from the beginning. It just made sense to me. Once it came into my awareness, right? So that's, this goes hand in hand with a tip. My main tip, it's like, don't force yourself to do anything. Don't force yourself to be raw. This isn't about willpower. It's not about willpower. I'm not about willpower at all. Not even 1 ounce. You see me, with this body and in great shape and so on and so forth. And, I'm coaching people and so on. I don't believe in using willpower. You either want something or you don't. If you want something, if you resonate with something, then doing it will be enjoyable for you. And so it will not take willpower. So, I don't believe in that at all. If you're listening to people and they're telling you, you just have to do what's best for your body and you have to do that and that's not even necessarily true, right? There are people that thrive eating all sorts of different diets, right? All sorts of different lifestyles. So that's not my school of thought whatsoever. And I don't believe in forcing yourself to do something. I don't believe in willpower because it doesn't last. It doesn't last. It's like if you want to have a great body, if you have an ideal body in your mind that you want to achieve and attain, then you have to love the process. If you don't love the process, you might get it through willpower, but you're not going to keep it. You're certainly not going to keep it for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. No way are you going to have willpower for all that time. You're going to yo-yo back and forth. Okay, I do not yo-yo back and forth. Why don't I yo-yo back and forth? Because I love the process. I love training. I love the way I eat. You see what I'm saying? Because it resonates with me. So that's why I say you have to eat where you're at. So if you're not ready to go raw, if you're just vegan and you feel, in your consciousness, you know that it's the right thing for you to go vegan, then be vegan. But if it's not, and then if you get the pull to include more raw foods, incorporate more raw foods. But if you're like still craving cooked foods, eat the damn cooked foods, right? It's not going to hurt you. Eat those cooked foods. They are resonating with you for this time. Now, next year, next month, maybe it'll be different. Maybe you'll be like, I think I'm ready. And then maybe you feel ready and then you go raw and then you're raw for a little bit. And then you're like, I'm craving cooked food. And you go back to cooked food again. And then maybe, next year, next month, whatever, it happens again. And you do the same thing and you go back to cooked food again. But then maybe, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years down the line, you go raw and it feels right for you and it keeps feeling right for you. And you just take it day by day and you just don't have those cravings. You prefer the raw food. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about forcing yourself to do anything. This whole world is like driven around, this whole society is driven around suffering, using your willpower, and making things happen. And that's not the way to succeed. That's why so many people fail at so many things. Like as a coach, you get to see it, but as a human, I think you get to see it. I mean, what is it? Something like 70 or more % of people are obese in this country. So, look at diseases, chronic diseases, and have they gone up or have they gone down? Look at that for yourself. So, if willpower was what we needed, then, it wouldn't, like, that's so simple, right? Just make yourself and that's it. You make yourself. It's not that simple, right? Some people, they try to make themselves and they're not able. Some people, they try to make themselves and they do it for a little while and then they lose their willpower. You know what I mean? So we speak of discipline and things like this. And yes, discipline is a good thing, but not forced discipline. Discipline with a lighthearted approach towards the things that you really want. So if you want to be raw and your friends are always trying to get you to eat cooked food, but for you it feels right to be raw, you exercise the discipline to stay raw when they offer you cooked food. However, you actually want the raw food. You know what I mean? You're not like, I don't want this. I want that cooked food, but I'm eating this. That is torture. That is torture. You're actually torturing yourself if you're doing that. That's why it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good to do that. So you have to do what's right for you where you're at with your own particular consciousness, because we're all on a journey and we're all on different paths. And so, wherever that path leads you at whatever time, you have to honor that. And you can't try to jump to this other path before you're ready, because what's going to happen? You're going to jump to that path and then you're going to go back, right? So you can do that if you want. If it feels exciting for you, you can do that. Then it's great. But then when you go back, if you go back, don't beat yourself up. Don't think, I can't do this. I can't stay raw and so on and so forth. Don't do that. It's just not quite your time yet. But your time will come if you feel like somewhere down the line, like that's what I'm going to be doing, then your time will come. So just be patient with yourself. You're on a journey, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. If you don't feel capable of being completely raw today, then that's okay. Maybe in the future you will, but don't try to force yourself, because if you do that, then you're going to end up, that can end up backfiring on you. You can end up, doing all sorts of crazy things. Like some people they go on all these extreme diets. These are great examples of what I'm talking about. People go on these extreme diets, like let's talk about a lot of like raw vegans, who or even just some vegans, I believe, but particularly some raw vegans who go on these crazy diets that are super restrictive, and they end up, what do they end up doing? Right? They quit veganism altogether. They get health issues. They get all these different things, right? And it's because of their mental issues. They're doing crazy, unhealthy things when they should just be eating and try to eat, you know, and follow their what they want to eat, follow what feels right to them, and honor their bodies in that way, but not not letting this obsession with like cleansing and healing and all of this stuff happen. A lot of these people are like in their 20s and they've never had a disease. There's nothing wrong with them. Why the F are they cleansing? Like, why the F are they cleansing? There's no reason for these people to be cleansing. Everybody's talking about cleansing. Like, what are you doing? You don't need to cleanse. If there's something wrong with you, then you need medication of some sort. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm a natural kind of a guy, by the way. I think you only go, the Western medicine route if you have no choice. But again, I'm not telling you guys what to do on that. You do what you want to do. But I'm a natural guy. I like to keep it natural, and I believe that nature makes all the medicine that we need. But we have to know what that medicine is, right? So we have to know some sort of a healer of some kind, and that's a different story. So anyway, so don't try to force yourself to do these crazy things, because you're going to end up paying for that. Okay, that's a long tangent, guys, but the video is really getting long, so let me wrap this up. So past 2 years, what I've noticed being raw, I've put on muscle. Yes, I've put on muscle. I've actually put on muscle, believe it or not. This year alone, I've put on a good amount of muscle. I don't know exactly how much, a good amount of muscle. I sleep better. I sleep way better. I sleep like a baby. I can sleep anytime, any place. You can wake me up and I can fall right back asleep. And that's only raw. I can only do that raw. My joints feel fantastic. They feel phenomenal. My energy is incredible. As I'm approaching 40, I feel like a kid. And when I was growing up, we thought when you turn 40, you were getting old. In fact, a lot of people think when you turn 30, you're getting old. And that's really funny, because you really don't finish growing until you're 25. So when you're 25, you're finally done growing. And now you got a couple years, and then they're like, you're getting old. That doesn't make any sense. So our society is so backwards in so many ways. Like, they don't know anything. So don't give them the respect of following the societal standards and all that kind of stuff, because these people, they're ignorant. They don't know. But anyway, those are some of the benefits, guys. And more energy. I don't know if I said that. A glow to my skin, a great, nice color to my skin, and vibrance to my skin. So I also said I was going to give you guys some tips. I gave you guys the best tips already for staying raw vegan. That's all you really need to know. You need to know that. And cons, there are no cons. The only con, if there was a con, would be that to make some of my favorite kind of savory dishes, it takes a lot of time, because there's usually a dehydrator involved. But you're not there, you're not flipping the food and having to watch over it. So it's really easy, really simple. You just plan ahead. So I wouldn't even call that a con, not going to sit here and complain. But yeah, guys, so that's it. That's all I got. I do offer one-on-one coaching, guys. If you want to get on a raw vegan diet, if you want to be high raw, either or. High raw means that you eat mostly raw, but you eat a little bit of cooked food each day usually as well. And if you want to do either of those and build muscle and lose fat, I offer one-on-one coaching. I provide custom meal plans, custom training plans, and weekly check-in calls much, much more. I'll have the link in the description for you guys that want to work with me. You can set up a free call with me, and we can get things going, get you moving forward on your goals, talk about what they are, and so on and so forth. But yeah, that being said, guys, I'm out. That's all I got for you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, if this is on Instagram, then my links are not below. They're in my bio, of course. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. See you on the next one. Peace. Love you guys.